Hello, sister friends. It is Jenny here with Senior Perspective, and today we're going to give you some updates on Janelle. I am so far behind on my Taeda Tea updates. So far behind.
We know. Believe me, we know.
I'm not even doing this as a Taeda. Maybe I will make it a Taeda Tea. I'll call it a Taeda Tea update. But basically, it's about Janelle and what's going on with Janelle, what's going on with Janelle's house, etc., etc. I'm pulling stuff both from the Taeda Farms blog as well as Janelle's personal Instagram. Okay, we're going to jump in and start off with the blog because it brings us up to date until current time. I have to catch you up on a December blog as well as a January blog. So the blog in December is about the update on Taeda Farms in general in terms of planting and building and everything else that goes on with that. This one was actually written by Maddie, and the title is The Story Behind Taeda Farms, Our Journey, and What's Coming Next. She writes, I recently had the chance to sit down with my business coach and friend, Brittany Schroeder, on the Redefine Business podcast, and we talked all things Taeda Farm, how it started, what's taken so long, and the dream we're building on our little piece of North Carolina land. I wanted to share a recap here for all of you who've been following along and cheering us on. Your support means the world to us. All right, I will link the podcast. Gosh, if I remember, sometimes I say I'm going to link stuff and then I don't because that's multiple hours or days later by the time I get around to the actual posting. If there's a way that they would let you do it like now, like I'm going to upload this podcast, can I create the show notes now? But you can't. You have to wait until the video is uploaded before you can write anything on it. Therefore, by that time, I often forget. So I don't mean to. You can always point it out and I can add it later. But my intent is to link the podcast she's referring to. Now, it's only like 20 some minutes long. I am 3/4 of the way through it. There's nothing new in there that's not in this post. And I did read this post ahead of time. I didn't read the next one, but I did read this one ahead of time because I saw that link to the podcast and I thought, oh, should I include that? Before I publish this, I'll finish the last little part, like the last 8 minutes of it, but I doubt there's anything new. So let me read to you what Maddie's written. Even though this farm is still in its early stages, it's already become such a meaningful part of our lives. Where Taeda Farms comes from and how to say it. Again, this was on the podcast and we've been through this before, but I'll read it anyway. Those of us who follow Janelle are aware. Here we go. This is probably the most asked question that we get. What does Taeda mean and how do you pronounce it? Taeda is pronounced Taeda, not Tada, even though we joke about that all the time. The name comes from the pine trees that naturally grow all over our property. Their Latin classification is Pinus taeda. These trees have long needles and grow tall with their branches starting higher up on the trunk. We also loved that the word taeda means torch in Latin, specifically a wedding torch. There's something symbolic and almost poetic about that. Light, warmth, and something carried forward. It felt fitting for the start of a family project like this. Side note, can I say, when I read this too, I originally thought Janelle had written this and I thought, wow, that it's like her new marriage to the property, to this project, to the new part of her life, the new beginning. I don't know. I thought that for Janelle, it was very apropos too, that it means wedding torch. Why has this taken so long? AKA permits, and more permits. When we first bought the land, I honestly thought we'd just clear some trees, plant some flowers, and call it a day. I had no idea how many layers were involved in developing land, especially in a coastal county. We learned quickly that you can't clear land without checking for erosion risks. You can't plant without confirming your soil won't cause problems downstream. You can't dig if there are waterways or protected areas nearby. And every step has to be inspected, approved, and reviewed, usually twice. We worked with an engineering firm, the county, and even the Army Corps of Engineers. What was supposed to take 10 days took months. Not just waiting, but constant back and forth, resubmissions, new requirements, and more patient than I ever thought I had. But we made it through. Slowly, eventually, and we are finally at the stage where things are moving. Where we are right now. Now that the permits are finally behind us, the fun part has started. Here's what's happening on the land right now. 1, our home is a few months out from being finished. 2, the area is being cleared for flower beds. 3, landscaping is in progress. 4, the parking lot is being prepared for visitors next spring. 5, planting begins this upcoming spring. Okay, I'm just going to say the timeline of that is very confusing to me because later on in this, she says we're going to open up in spring of 2026. But she said the parking lot is being prepared for visitors next spring and planting begins this upcoming spring. So there'll be no parking lot? I don't understand. Something's confusing to me. I don't know if there was a typo somewhere or if I'm just not following, but it says parking lot is being prepared for visitors next spring. And then planting begins this upcoming spring. But you'll hear later on that somehow people are supposed to start coming this spring. Okay. Don't know. North Carolina is humid and wild, so everything grows fast, including things we didn't plant. We're clearing volunteer trees, preserving the soil, and preparing long-term beds that will support perennial flowers that take a few years to fully mature. It finally feels real, seeing progress every time we drive out to the property. The big vision for Taeda Farms. We're building this farm in phases so it grows naturally and sustainably. Phase 1 is the pick your own flower experience. This is where it all begins. Visitors will be able to walk the fields, pick flowers, take pictures, enjoy nature, and spend time on the farm. For anyone who loves being outside as much as I do, this will be such a peaceful, beautiful experience. Phase 2, cabins and coffee shop. As the farm matures, we'll build small cabins for overnight stays, along with a cozy coffee shop. A quiet, nature-filled getaway right on the property. And finally, phase 3. Eventually, we plan on adding a larger lodge for weddings, bridal and baby showers, retreats, events, family gatherings. That kind of place that brings people together and feels like home. I bet it's going to look so cool. Everybody who has kids that are going to get married in about 5 years.
More like 10?
And lives in North Carolina. This is a great place because by then all the little cottages will be built so you can have people that stay in the cottages. I mean, they're not going to have enough cottages to house, a 300-person wedding, but they could have smaller weddings there. They still aren't probably going to have enough cottages for 100 people, but they'll have enough cottages for like a bridal suite. I bet they build. I bet when they build the event venue, they also build a bridal suite and a groom's room, like it's designed as a wedding venue, but can be used for other things as well.
Maybe.
Okay, that's just me hypothesizing. I don't know any of that for a fact, but I have visions. We'll see if they match up with their vision. Here we go. When will Taeda Farms open? We're aiming for late May 2026 for our first public event. Okay. No parking lot, apparently. I feel like I got to go and see, if nothing else, to find out if there's a parking lot. All right. So it says we're aiming for late May 2026 for our first public event, right when the first bloom should be popping. It's taken longer than we expected, but the timing feels right. Good things grow slowly. Okay, then they mentioned TaedaFarms.com if you want to follow along, at Taeda Farms on Instagram if you want to follow along. And it says, you can also follow my personal adventures in slow living, homesteading, cooking, and motherhood on my own account. I love sharing real, imperfect, everyday moments that make up our life. This farm has been a dream built with patience, problem solving, and a whole lot of heart. Thank you for being here, for cheering us on, and for supporting Taeda Farms even before we've planted the very first flower. We can't wait to welcome you to the farm soon. All right, that's the farm update. Now we have the house update. Now there's no house update per se for Maddie's house, although she said that it's going to be finished soon. And there's a picture that I'll share. The bones of it are all done. The exterior is all done. I mean, all they have to do on the outside is put the siding on. So they're probably starting to work on the inside already on their house. So I'll include that picture. It's big and it's beautiful and it has a great porch for watching kids and grandkids grow up.
I wanted to sit on a porch with my sister wives, with our kids and our grandkids, and having a family. I don't understand. I don't understand.
But then we have Janelle's house, and Janelle's house in her blog in January 14th was almost done. I will show a picture of it. Look at the porch for the porch fantasy. plenty of room for rocking chairs and watching kids play. I love it. Okay, I'm going to read to you her blog about the home right now, and then I'm going to show you a video from her Instagram. The video has music in the background. I don't want a copyright strike, so I'm going to take the music down and I'm just going to talk through it and label the different rooms because it's completely empty. This is like her first walk in, take a look at the house, do the inspection type thing. I know it so well. Hopefully hers goes a little smoother than mine did, but mine worked out fine. Okay, it's called A Home of My Own by Janelle Brown. Building a house is one of those things people talk about like it's a finish line. You cross it, the ribbon breaks, and suddenly everything is perfect. The truth? It's more like a long hike with a really great view at the top and a few wrong turns, sore feet, and deep breaths along the way. Oh, I can totally relate. We had the same building experience. I bet most people do. All right, it is what it is. Still, I can honestly say this season of my life has been one of the most exciting, grounding, and meaningful chapters yet. For the first time, I'm not just building a house, I'm building my house. And alongside it, I'm planting the roots of Taeda Farm, something that feels just as much like home as the walls rising from the dirt. There's something incredibly powerful about watching an idea go from a dream to a drawing to an actual structure standing in front of you. I've lived in a lot of places. I've adapted, adjusted, compromised, and made things work. That's not a bad thing. It's a skill. This is the first time I've been able to build something intentionally, thoughtfully, and fully for me. No negotiations. No trying to make everyone else feel comfortable first. Just asking myself one simple question over and over, does this feel like home to me? Turns out that question is both freeing and a little terrifying. When you spend a lifetime making space for other people, you don't always realize how much of yourself you've tucked away. Choosing finishes, layouts, and decor might sound small, but it's surprisingly emotional. Every decision feels like a quiet declaration. This matters. I matter. And honestly, that's been really healing. What's made this process especially meaningful is how much of my life has found its way into the design. This house isn't tied to one place or one era, but it's a collection of everywhere I've been and everything I've learned along the way. Each room carries a little history, a little memory, a little, oh yeah, that's why I love that. There are nods to wide, open spaces and practical layouts because I've always appreciated functionality. Beauty is great, but if it doesn't work for real life, I'm not interested. There are warm textures and natural materials that remind me of grounding, slower seasons. There are cozy corners inspired by places where I learned the value of quiet. And there's light, lots of it, because I've learned how important it is to let light in, both literally and figuratively. Decorating this home has felt less like following trends and more like telling a story. My story. Some pieces are brand new, chosen carefully and intentionally. Others are inspired by places I've lived, landscapes I've loved, and chapters that shaped me. It's a patchwork in the best possible way. Nothing flashy, nothing forced, just honest. And then there's Taeda Farms. Starting the farm alongside building the house feels symbolic in a way that's hard to put into words. A house gives you shelter, but land gives you perspective. It reminds you to be patient. You can't rush growth. You prepare the soil, plant the seeds, and trust the process, even when nothing seems to be happening yet. That lesson has shown up in my life more times than I can count. Taeda Farms isn't just about what we will grow there. It's about creating something sustainable, something rooted, something that requires care and commitment. There's a rhythm to farm life that forces you to slow down and pay attention. Weather matters. Timing matters. Effort matters. And control? Well, that's mostly an illusion. There's something incredibly comforting about that. I found so much joy in the simplicity of it all, walking the land, imagining what it will become, understanding that this is a long game. It's not about instant results. It's about showing up consistently and trusting that growth will come in its own time. In a lot of ways, building this house and starting Taeda Farms mirrors the inner work I've been doing for years, learning who I am outside of roles, learning what I want and not what's expected, not what's easiest, but what's true. Learning that independence doesn't mean isolation, and choosing yourself doesn't mean abandoning others. It just means honoring your own needs too. There have been moments of doubt, of course, moments where the logistics feel overwhelming or the timeline stretches longer than expected, moments where I wonder if I'm doing it right. But then I step back and I look at what's being built, both physically and emotionally, and I remember why I started. It's about alignment. This house is a reflection of where I am now, grounded, intentional, open, and hopeful. Taeda Farms represents the future I am growing into, one rooted in patience, purpose, and possibility. Together, they symbolize something I've worked hard for, a life that feels like mine. And maybe that's the biggest surprise of all. Not the walls, not the land, not even the fresh start, but the quiet confidence that comes from finally choosing yourself and building something that supports who you truly are. Turns out, home isn't just a place you live, it's a place you finally let yourself belong. That's nice. I don't know. I'm not poetic. So while I appreciate some of the imagery and analogy and growth metaphors, I'm just a plain Jane kind of gal. I'm a meat and potatoes eating, keep your souffles, say it like it is, speak the truth, say what's on your mind, and therefore imagery and poetry and all that great stuff in literature usually escapes me. I'm a simpleton. So anyway, it was great. It was lovely. It's good to see Janelle on this path of peace. I love it. And then we have the tour inside her home. Now, on her Instagram, I don't know when this is going to get published, but yesterday was the anniversary of Garrison's passing. And so I just want to take a moment and share the photo that she shared, which is actually the same photo that was on Mary's Instagram. And Mary's was cropped a lot better. Janelle's was like his face was in the center of the picture. So the whole top half is just like a white sky, an overcast sky. And so it's just like his face and a little bit of his shoulders. So I'm going to share the picture. We recognize the picture. It's the same picture that was at his funeral, the same one that's in Cody's garage, the one where he has just the most genuine, sweet smile on his face. He's in his army fatigue, so he's doing something with the National Guard at that time. And we know that that was important to him as well. The words that Janelle put with this picture say, "I've felt you around today. This is my favorite picture of you. You were so happy. I had protected this day on my calendar for weeks. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I wanted the ability to choose when the day arrived. Turns out that the movers I hired to help me bring the big things from storage to the new house could only move me today. I think it was perfect timing. I was so busy, but it was also significant to me that today would have signs of a new chapter and the new life that has begun for me since you left. I love you always, Garrison, Mom." That's sweet. You know what? While we're at it, let me look up what Christine just had a picture of her on her balcony looking out. Well, it wasn't a picture, it's a video of her looking around out on the balcony. And it says, "Some days on the calendar hold more grief than words can explain." And then on the side she wrote, "Yesterday was one of those days. Some days on the calendar break your heart all over again. If you've ever loved someone and lost them, you know how those days feel. The ones that hold a little more weight than the rest. Holding space for everyone who is carrying someone in their heart." Holding space. Okay, we have Mary also. As I mentioned before, the photo that I'm sharing is the one that Mary had on her Instagram because it's the full picture of Garrison. And she wrote, "Minimal words necessary because maximum love exists. 2 years gone, yet living in our hearts. Love you always, Garrison," with a heart. Okay. I don't know why I'm going to punish myself and do this, but let's take a look at Robin Brown. I know she didn't write anything. I don't even know if she's ever on her Instagram anymore. No, she didn't post anything. Cody, I know, is active on his Instagram. We'll Well, more than she is anyway. Cody Brown. And he put nothing. The last post was when he was on Special Forces, the interview after Special Forces. Well, that's unfortunate. Actually, as I look back, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. The last 18 posts were about Special Forces, about it coming up, advertising it coming in, some of the other people that are on it, lots of pictures of himself doing hard things. It's cool and you're a man when you do hard things. All right. Well, that was unfortunate. All right, let's go back and end it on a positive note. We are going to take a look at Janelle's house. Now, I told you I was a little bit behind. So this video that she posted was from a week ago. And so the house will be completely empty because we just learned that she was moving the big stuff in on the day of the anniversary of Garrison's passing. So here's the beautiful front of it. She had written on the front, "Today's the day. My house is finished. Here's what it looks like walking in." So I'm going to just tell you ahead of time so that you can follow along. We're going to walk in and it's going to walk into her living room. And then we're going to see her kitchen area. Then we're going to go to her bedroom and her bathroom. Okay. So those are the rooms we're going to see. I'm going to point out, and maybe I'll even hit pause. I'll hit pause where there's a door and my hypothesis of what's behind the door. Okay, here we go. The beautiful black front door on the pretty wood deck, white trim. Ta-da! Inside her beautiful home. I'm going to pause for a second here. All the windows, you look out of every window and there's trees all around. It is a peaceful retreat for her. I'm very happy for her. Pretty stone fireplace, vaulted ceilings. And then you'll see as we continue on and go to the kitchen that there's a loft area upstairs. So I don't know if she's going to use that as an office area maybe. It could also be an additional guest bedroom. Okay, moving on. Pretty ceiling fan, keeping humidity from putting mold on the ceiling. That's smart. Pretty granite countertops. Lovely appliances. She still has a refrigerator that needs to be delivered. I'm going to pause for a second. Again, we can see the kitchen eating area / dining area, whatever. It's a large area, so there's room for a decent sized table. But look out the back there. Look at the trees. So she also, you can see the railing. She has a porch out the back there too. So she can walk out the back of the house and have a porch too. She's got double porches, a double porch fantasy.
I wanted to sit on a porch with my sister wives, with our kids and our grandkids. Oh, it's funny. Okay. Now we're going to go down this hall. I'm going to pause right here. These two doors here, my guess is that straight ahead is like a coat closet type situation, and that the door on the left is okay. I didn't see if there was another room down there. We're going to go into her bedroom, which is on the same floor and obviously has a bathroom too, but one of these two doors is definitely a bathroom. My first guess was this door straight on was the bathroom, and the one to the left is another bedroom. It's like a guest bedroom down there that could also be an office. Now, she designed this house herself, so maybe not, maybe just the master is there, and then up in the loft area there's another bedroom because she just thought, I don't need more than one room of guests. The less people invading, the better. I don't know. Of course, Maddie's got a big, beautiful home that I'm sure is going to have extra space in it as well. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. Just from this angle, the door straight on looks narrower, which made me think that it's possibly a coat closet. And we haven't seen a coat closet anywhere else. And most houses do have coat closets. Even my little townhome that I built, they have a coat closet in there in the foyer area. So it's not exactly in the foyer. So maybe not. Maybe this is the bathroom straight ahead and a bedroom to the left. It could be that when you come into the house that right away to the right on that wall, there could be a coat closet. We didn't see it because the door opened that way. All right, we're going to move on and we're going to move into her bedroom. Big, beautiful bedroom. And through the bedroom, you go into the bathroom. Now pay attention here. I'm going to pause it for a second so you can see. The door opens inward into the bathroom. Okay, so that'll come up later. But you can see just even from this picture that it's a nice size bathroom. It really is. Very spacious. The sinks are going to be to the left, the tub to the right. And that room straight ahead that you can see from the freezing of this picture, that room with the door open, that's like the toilet room. It just has a toilet in it. Now, what I don't know is what is in the door that's closed to the left. My guess was a closet, but then there seems to be another room that's probably the closet. So let's watch. Okay, go a little further. Beautiful sinks. Nice vanity, lots of space to store stuff and lots of space on the countertop. More space than I think she needs, but good for her. Make it big. Look out the windows. I'm telling you, just gorgeous. Nice size soaking tub and then a shower as well. And then this is where I'm going to pause it. What's this room? So I was thinking this was maybe the closet. I don't know. It's carpeted. You don't really need the closet carpeted. It's like it's another side little room. It's not the room we just came out of because it's narrower and the door opens the other way. So it's definitely a different door to another room. What is that room? Tell me what you think. Could just be a storage room. I don't know. It has a window in it. It seems like you'd want to go in there. It could be a little bedroom if you put like a twin bed in it. I don't know. Why would it be off the bathroom? This is where I'm confused. Do tell me what you think. And that's it. Back to the beginning. I'm so happy for her. I am thrilled for her. I love that there's a ceiling fan on the porch too. That's so Southern, isn't it? That's so cute. I love it. Happy, happy, happy. Yay, Janelle. It's fun sharing happy updates. Let me know what you think about her home, the whole adventure. When do you think we should go look at it? When do you think it's really going to be open to the public? This May or next May? That's all I have for this update today. Take care. God bless. Adios. Thanks for watching with me. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye, sister friends.